Nothing to See Here is a story of remarkable people, wealth, and covering things up, and unexpressed love. Hey guys, it's Brittle Pages here. So glad you could join me. Today's book is Nothing to See Here by Kevin Walker, which I enjoyed fairly. So let's not waste any time and get right into this video. If you've read this book, please comment down below what your thoughts are on it. I'd love to see them, or hear them in fact. Nothing to See Here was published in 2019, but is based in 1995. It follows a girl named Lillian, who in the beginning of the book is her younger self, but in most of the book she is her adult self. This book was quite short at about 191 pages. The pace was good. I don't know if you guys have a book where you feel this way, but in my case, I felt good simply reading this book, like just being present in that world, in that book. I just felt good, probably because it was funny. Lillian is a funny person overall. Fun fact, I didn't read the author's name when I first started it, so I thought it was written by a woman. I was so shocked to see a man's name on the cover. I think Walter did a good job telling the story in a woman's perspective. So, Nothing to See Here is like Lillian, right? And she's a little girl, and she gets into this prestigious girls' boarding school, and she's super excited, and everybody at her then current school was so happy for her, like, oh, this kid is going places, she's so smart, she's made it into the elite group, like she's going places, she's gonna be somebody. And so she gets there, her first day she gets there, her mom drops her off, and she has a really tense relationship with her mom. You just kind of get to notice that. So her mom drops her off, she starts school, and she makes friends with her roommate, who is the side character Madison. And I guess she falls in love with her, because, yeah, she falls in love with her when they meet then. And they become best friends, and they have this camaraderie. They have this thing similar to each other's. They know that they are both weird, like they're not like other people, you know. And Madison isn't like the other rich girls, and Lillian isn't like the other girls either. So it just follows, at the beginning, it just follows them in school, playing basketball. They're in this team together. They're like, you know, really good at basketball. They love basketball, and they're really good in school. But Madison tended to do drugs sometimes, so she gets into an argument with one of the people in her friend group, and that person tells on the school that Madison has drugs in her room, and she gets searched and they find drugs, and she potentially will be expelled or suspended. So that's when her father is called to the school. So he gets there, he takes Madison and Lillian out for dinner with Lillian's mom, but as the dinner progresses we find out that it wasn't just an honest dinner, but the father wanted Lillian to take the fall for his daughter's mistake. He wanted Lillian to take the fall for Madison's mistake. He wanted her to tell the school that she's the one who had these drugs are hers. And he said to Lillian and her mom that they would potentially just be suspended. Expulsion wasn't a definite punishment, and they gave them $10,000 in case she was expelled for her education and for her silence. And she does get expelled, and she goes back to her school, and she just loses that kind of drive, that motivation to better her circumstances, to better her life. She just, hangs around and smokes pot her whole teenage life, and she kind of loses that zeal that she had when she started school at the prestigious school in the mountains. I think Rocky Mountain, I don't remember, but she loses all that motivation and just becomes one of the other people, smoking pot. But she's always her and Madison keep in touch. Throughout the years, they write each other letters. So one day in 1995, Madison writes her a letter saying that she would love for her to come see her where she lives in Atlanta, Tennessee. In Tennessee. So she gets ready and she gets there. She's taken there by Carl, a man who works for Madison. She gets there and she's just in such awe of how the place looks. It's a beautiful home. She says she doesn't even know how many stories they are because she can't see high up enough. But I would say they're like 3 or 2 stories. And she gets there and she just can't believe that this whole time this is how her friend Madison has been living. I mean, she always imagined what wealth looked like, but she didn't imagine that it would look like this. So she gets there, she meets Madison after all this time, and the feelings come back to her again. She meets her son Tom. She meets her son Timothy. Madison tells her that she called her there for a job. She said that she had a job for her, so she is now telling her the job. So she's like, you have to take care of. Madison is married. She has a husband, Jasper, who is a Senate. So Madison tells Lillian that her job is to take care of Jasper's kids, who he had with another woman in a different marriage. They're like 10 years old, I think. And another thing leads to another. She ends up agreeing, and she takes care of these kids. But she was told, like, these kids have superpowers. Like, they can light up, like, physically, like, literally, they can light up into flames. She didn't believe it at first, but I was so surprised that this was the kind of book it was. I didn't know it had any supernatural elements to it. I thought it was just like plain old literary fiction. But I kind of liked that. I kind of liked how he made literary fiction. He spiced it up a bit with some supernatural powers in it. So she takes care of these kids, and they're just like really damaged kids, and have so much emotional things going on because their mom like killed herself, and it's just really hard for them. But they grow an incredibly tight bond with Lillian, and to a point where they end up living with her. Like, when she leaves that house after everything has gone down, like, they end up living with her because Timothy also lights on fire on live television. So they end up living with her, and they want to, they say, like, can you take us with you? So they just, like, I think Lillian and these kids, Lillian is what these kids needed, and these kids is what Lillian needed, because Madison is never going to take her for what she wants her to take her for. She loves Madison and wants her to love her back and be with her, but Madison is thinking about her life and her future, her legacy, and she can't do that. She can't be with a girl like Lillian, so they can't be together. But I feel like that's okay, because Madison needed to live her life and whatever, but Lillian needed these kids, and these kids needed Lillian. And I think that, to summarize it all, I wanted to be really quick and brief about it, but to summarize it all, it was a happy ending. Nobody's ending was bad. It was a happy ending. Nobody got a bad ending. Nothing to See here explores the idea of wealth and status and getting away with things, I think, personally, very well. The way Madison's father just paid someone off for his child to stay in school. The school also had a problem, though, because I'm sure they knew it wasn't Lillian. I'm sure they knew it, but they just let her take the fall. The way Madison says she'd still be in her great position even if she got kicked out, it just speaks volumes. Like, there's a part in the book where she says, oh, like, I would have gotten here where I am today anyways, and it speaks volumes, and I hear you, but it just aggravates me, because I'm like on Lillian's side. Like, you stole away her future, her only chance out of her circumstance, and you pull some shit like you say, oh, I would have been here anyways, whether you took the fall from me or not. Bro, like, whatever. I highlighted this. There's a part where it's written, she took another shot, made it easily, and the ball bounced right back into her waiting arms. It stuck to me because Madison isn't incompetent, you know? She's completely capable of greatness because she is an intelligent and focused woman who was good in sports as well. Basically, there's nothing she couldn't do. So as much as people attack, the children of the wealthy for having things handed to them, that's not the case with Madison. She'd have become a successful independent woman even if she had come from a background similar to Lillian's. Life was easy for her, but she was easy to elevate, if you know what I mean. She had the means, but she also had the skills and brains. Now with the fire business. The children Bessie and Roland who caught on fire are smarter than they appear. We see that when they first meet Lillian. They kind of scare me. I honestly thought they'd cause more harm, like straight on flame throwing. That's what I really thought the book was gonna end like tragically, like that. Their father abandons them because of their strength. That's shown as a weakness of some sort or a mistake, but it comes from him. What let me down was how Jasper's side wasn't explored as much. I really wanted to know if he had the power as well, if he had a similar childhood. Maybe his whole lineage was born like that, and they had the means to contain it from the public. You never know. But I like how Kevin Wilson just let that sink into your brain. He let you think for yourself, like you never know. But I appreciate the subtlety. Yeah, Lillian uses the title of the book when they're walking out of the library. She's like, when they're walking out, because they hide their books in their clothes, and like, oh, we're just walking by here, nothing to see here, showing how invisible these remarkable people were, because these kids have fire powers. So there's definitely, something to see there. But also, since Madison worked on image in the political field, I think that's what the title means as well. She could cover anything up as she did with her son's power showing on live TV. She could easily say nothing to see here and people would believe, due to her wealth and all. Love. Lillian confesses to Madison that she loves her and she'd like to give it a shot one day if Madison ever wanted to. But Madison made the choices in life that she did, knowing she needed to build a name and all that. She chose money, status, and legacy over love. But then again, would it have worked out considering what she did to Lillian when they were younger? If she loved her so much, she would have protected her, right? Maybe she didn't love her that much. Maybe she never felt as much as Lillian did. She even asks Lillian that sometime in the book, saying something like, even if I did choose you, what would have happened? Like, would we really be happy and content about it? Would it have been the right decision? Madison was smart about her long-term choices, and being on Lillian's side, I was angry at her for it. But then again, Lillian proves to not be so easy around in some sense. She's not the easiest person to be around. I don't know, what do you guys think? Character analysis of Lillian. No worse than any other family is something that Mary, their chef and housekeeper, says. Every family has its own secrets that nobody finds out about because they aren't famous or sought after. But that doesn't mean regular families out there don't have incredible secrets that would shock the world. We look at people in the grocery store and we say, nothing to see there. But that person goes home and leads an remarkable life. You really never know.